Hello, I'm Robert Leger, and I'm the inventor of the first onboard tire compressor for Harley-Davidson. And I will try to explain you today the concept that I'm working on, and I've been working on for the last 8 years. What's the difference between an onboard tire compressor and a handheld $10 compressor? Well, to me, a handheld compressor would be the comparison if you had a luxury yacht and you would have a handheld bilge pump for the yacht. Maybe it's not a good comparison, but or maybe trim tabs on an airplane. You know, like the tires are so critical in the handling of the motorcycle. Now, the whole idea of the onboard tire compressor was for the guys that are very serious about tire pressure. Now, tire pressure is so critical on the handling of a motorcycle, because you got to remember you only have 2 wheels, and those tires are extremely great tires. I mean, they're a lot better than car tires, and they don't last as long as car tires do, because it's a pretty hostile environment for a tire that has like 3 axes. Is like, you know, and if you're not getting 14,000 miles, or between 12 to 14,000 miles out of your back tire, well, then you're not maintaining the proper tire pressure. And I've been talking to a lot of manufacturers of tires and the best pressure is the maximum pressure. If the tire says 42 maximum, put 42 in it. Don't exceed 42, put 42. It's designed to operate very well at the maximum tire pressure. Now, some conditions you might not want a hard tire. Well, the reason why a tire well inflated, it doesn't heat as much. It doesn't elasticity, doesn't work as much, and the tire doesn't heat, and therefore the tire will last longer. Now, sometimes if it's a foggy or cold, damp day, you might consider to reduce the air in your tire, maybe a few pounds, to make the tire get a little warmer, because you want the tire to be maybe 10 to 15 pounds or even 20 degrees hotter than the road. And it'll work better, especially in the rain and that. And then if it's sunny and really hot, then keep it at maximum. The tire will run cool. Now, the onboard tire compressor that I designed, is customly made to fit in these batwing fairings. Of course, you could put them in any bike as long as you have the right bracket and whatever, and the switching and stuff. But it goes directly on the accessory switch of your Harley-Davidson, and it only takes 1.2 amps between 0.8 to 1.2 amp to operate. And that's, you don't need to start the engine. It won't kill your battery. And it'll take, we tested my old compressor in there. This compressor's been in there for almost, well, 7 years. It's been there 7 years, and we tested it, and actually it inflated the tire quicker than the new one. And maybe it's because the seals are well set, and there's basically no maintenance to them. You know, there's absolutely no maintenance. Well, of course, if you run them in the dust and everything, the valves will get plugged up, but I've had no problem at all with the compressors. I feel like the Maytag guy sometimes, you know. Now, it takes 4 minutes 18 seconds to totally inflate a front tire at 42 pounds. 4 minutes 18 seconds. That's pretty darn good. Now, to penetrate the market, I was not trying to compete against the handheld compressor, the $5 or $10 compressor, because in reality, if you're going to buy a compressor strictly in the case that you might have a flat tire and you're going to put air in the tire, well, you don't need to buy an $800 compressor to do that. You know, a $10 compressor, any compressor will put air in the tire. But if you want a compressor to work every day and you want to check your tires, and if you monitor your tires, you might predict the problem. Like if you're putting air in your tire 10, 15 pounds, then you know there's something wrong with your tire. As long as you keep putting air in your tire is never going to go flat. you know, and this is the kind of compressor that could do that kind of thing. Now I'm going to show you the difference between, like, say, a $9 compressor and our compressor. Here's our compressor here. I'll show you close to the camera, you see. I don't know if you see it well there. This is the complete compressor right here. This is the whole thing. There's the head and the piston and the crankshaft in here. You know, of course, the motor's like, and it's a gear there. And then the other compressor, like your $9 compressor, this is your compressor. This is the complete thing here, of course. They don't have the motor with it, but the motor is here. And we have great motors. Our motors are very powerful. And these little compressors, they draw like 4.5 amps. And they don't inflate the tire. They wouldn't be able to inflate the tire every day like we do there. And then we also have these hoses. This hose is a braided hose. It's a high pressure hose. It would stand to 250 psi. You'll never see that kind of pressure because it's regulated at 60. And the reason for regulating at 60 is because you don't need to use the tire for, you know, you're not going to inflate truck tires with this thing, and plus you want to start burning your fuse. So it's regulated at 60 psi, and it's a great little hose, never gets stiff. You'd use a 40 below zero if you want to. It comes with a beautiful bag. The bag is well made. The bag itself is worth probably more than, and then it comes with the hose in the bag, you know, and a kit to repair it, and repair kit and that. So what I've been doing, I've been selling them for 200. At first I was giving them away because I wanted to test market. But giving them away was not a solution, because what happens, I was giving them away and I'd call back the guys and say, how's my compressor going? They'd say, I haven't had time to put it in. So they had no self-interest and they had no money involved, so they had no interest. So I figured, well, why don't I try to sell them for something, you know? So it cost me, just to build them for the parts alone, it cost $200. And I was selling them for $200. And that's retail. And then the wholesale guys, well, they wanted to make double their money, so I was selling them at wholesale for like $118. But you know, you got to get into the market. So if I was listening to the accountants, they said, you can't sell that, stuff like that. But I says, I'm going to give it a 600 compressors. I'm going to work on 600 compressors. When those compressors are gone, that's it. You know, and then the compressor is really an $800 compressor. Retail price for the compressor is $795, and there's not much room there to play, because, you know, it's a fairly expensive compressor. It works fantastic, you know. So basically that's the idea, the concept I was thinking is, you know, and I got basically the idea from the racing guys. They were talking about, like, say, half a pound, like you know, really, and and the tire, and you know, it's so nice to be self-reliant, because you could go at a party sometimes, come back from the party, your tire's flat, and then you got to look for the compressor, and there you borrow a friend's thing, or you got to stick it in the cigarette lighter, and in this model, the cigarette lighter's on the other side, and it's so inconvenient. This way here, you just got your little hose, and you got a little pouch. You know, I put my toothbrush in that little pouch and stuff like that, you know. So it's a kind of nice little thing. And the pouch has a Velcro at the back. It sticks very nice in the bag there. And the compressors are available on my website. And we have one sole distributor, and that's JP Cycle. And there's no sense of me having a whole bunch of people selling stuff that they don't understand. So, but anyway, I'm gonna you know, readjust the price on my website, and I think GP Cycle has some remaining compressors. I think he's selling them for $400 or $500, but that stock is being depleted pretty well now. And I'll give you a little look at how the compressor fits in here, and you'll see how nicely tucked in is in there. So I'll grab the camera. I'll slowly grab the camera and show you that. And it's you know, and as far as the marketing thing, if I had investors, and I think that there's big money to be made if this was marketed properly. So I didn't think I did a good marketing thing, because I was saying fix it on the spot. Well, any compressor will do that. So the real potential of this compressor was never really developed. You know, it's not, people don't really you don't really get it, but I'll tell you, that'll get you home. And I have a lot of other $800 items on this bike. They ain't gonna bring me home. So I'll show you a little closer how this works right in here. Now you see how the compressor fits really nice and tucked. This one here has been in there now since 2005. I took it out and tested and worked really great. All I did is re-lubricate it, clean it up, and freshen it up and that. So it's very easy to install. It's like just your regular wire off your accessory wire, and you got your ground. There's another ground at the back. You see how well it fits in there. It's really designed to fit here. And you got your hose, and the extra fitting is out here. You see, you just hook up your hose here. And then I got the Road King that you could put it down in the thing there. So, but again, I appreciate you saying, and it's like the concept that I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make people understand that the onboard tire compressor is something that I think that all motorcycles should have. And I'll tell you, it's paid for itself many times already, because before I was not monitoring my tires, and I was getting like 4,000 and something like 3,000 miles out of the tire, and I didn't know that you had to leave 50 pounds of tire in a Mechler, and I was buying these really expensive Mechlers and tearing them to rat shit, but it's just because I didn't have the right tire pressure. So thank you very much, and I hope to sell more compressors, and I'll be on the road soon. I'm heading the road, and hope to see you at the rallies and at JP Cycle Open House. So thank you very much again from the docking station and Robert Leger. Bye-bye for now.